This is going to be a little bit of an introduction to how to use this timesheet that we have here that I've created specifically for you and, of course, me, because I'm a little bit of a person who is all over the place and I need a little bit of organization in my life, especially for when I'm talking to people all the time, doing business projects all the time. And so it's not just for business, but it's also for my personal life when I want to do some exercise or to meet with friends. I can use this sheet to my advantage to make sure that my entire day is structured very, very well. And so if you want to use this sheet to the maximum potential, make sure you're using it every single day and following the kind of flow of how your day goes and really understand how your day flows and then apply it into the sheet and then start to integrate all the other tools that you want to use. But this is your first step here that is going to completely change the game for you, for your business, for your work, for your life. And I'm really happy to share this with you today. So let's dive right in and I'm going to explain to you how this sheet is going to work. So you can see right here we have the how to use this sheet tab that I have. This is just for those who have not watched this video, but if you have any other questions or you want to look back at something, you can keep this sheet here if you want, and you can look back and you can look at all the notes that we have here, all the steps that I've put into this sheet to make it a little bit easier for you, some notes for all the pages as well. But then you can see on the left side here, there's a little bit of code. This code here is for like the fail safe. This code here is for this tab, the daily planner here. And this daily planner is going to be so effective in your business and your work and in your life. But we'll get to that later on why the code is used for that. But right now, what I really want to talk about is the habit tracker, the performance tracker here. And it's so powerful, so powerful that I've used with a lot of people to hold them accountable for their habits that they want to do every single day. Especially as a coach, it's super helpful to work with clients and know what they're trying to do and hold them accountable for that, because they're trying to do something and they're telling themselves that they want to do it, but it's not enough. They need a little bit of extra push. And so I've created this to make it really simple and really easy. You can see on the top here that we have a little bit of some diagrams, this little picture graph to make it really visible for you to visually see your progress. What this is you have to look at the start date. You have to look at all the habits that you want to start and do every single day. It can start at the beginning of a month, at the beginning of a week, but the idea is this whole sheet here is just for an entire month. And so this is really important. When you do want to start a new month, make sure that you have the open side of this template where there isn't any notes. And so I would keep an open blank template of this, which is this sheet. And I would keep that in case you want to use every single month and be able to look back at your progress from the different months. And so what you are going to do is you're going to start your day for this specific time when you're starting your habits. This minimum bar here, this is super cool. So what I think is very important is to track your wins, to track your victories. This is what this sheet is. It's a victory tracker. And so you'll see there's these check boxes down below under the days of the week and next to the daily habits. And as you can see, as I'm starting to click off the daily habits that I've completed that I will be putting in here, I can see my progress for the day on the bottom in the green starting to change. So now it's at a 68%. And then at the bottom, which is at a 90 or a 9%. And so this is also changing the visual aspect of here as well. And now what that means is basically for the minimum side of things, we want to have a minimum win percentage, a minimum completion percentage. That is something that I can still feel like today was a win or this week was a win. And it's super important to recognize that you are still progressing even when it doesn't feel like it. Because you are going to have days where you seriously don't think that you've done anything and you feel like you have just been back where you used to be. This is where the sheet comes into play, and you can start to see that, oh my gosh, I actually did way better statistically wise than I did last week. So you're going to be able to see how you're performing on a whole new level. So for example, let's say I want to do waking up at 6 a.m. and then we can say we're going to meditate, and then we can say we're going to go on a walk, and then we're going to do some exercise. Okay, just a little bit of a few simple habits that we want to complete. So what I can do is I can look now on this tab, and they're going to just sit there for the whole time as I scroll around. But okay, Monday, the first day that I started, I woke up at, maybe we'll say 6:45. Okay, well, I can just say 6:45 that I woke up at. I mean, it's not horrible, but technically I wanted to wake up at 6, right? So I can't check this box off, but I will put some notes in there and telling myself what time I did wake up. So I mean, it's somewhere along it, but I'm still tracking. So now I can look into meditate. Okay, did I at least meditate today? Yes, I did meditate today. So I'm going to click that off, and maybe I meditated for 15 minutes. So I'm going to put in 15 minutes. Now, on a walk, let's say I did go on a walk as well today. I'm going to check that off, and I'm going to do 20-minute walk, whatever it is. If you're just doing your typical daily habits that take amount of time, you can just put the numbers in. Or if it's like the work routine, I did my project number 1, or I did project number 2 and 3 and 4, whatever it is that you're trying to work on. And so you can check those off as you complete it and make progress efficiently. So that's how the habit tracker works. And make sure that you can put in a little bit of a weekly quote at the top if you really want to inspire yourself for the week. And just in the left corner here, I asked myself, what would someone smarter than me do? So I just put myself into a little bit of a questioning myself on how I can improve even more, and what would someone smarter than me do. So asking myself questions that are going to start to make me think a little bit differently. So this is how the habit tracker works. Let's show the daily planner now. Now, if you want to use the daily planner, I really recommend you first understand if the code is inside of your sheet here. So what we can do is we're going to go open this tab. We're going to find the extensions tab at the top, and we're just going to click extensions, and then we're going to click app script. So I click app script, and then it pops up to a different tab, a different website for me. And we can see now that there's actually already code inside. So what I'm going to do is, perfect, the code is in there. I'm going to keep that up for now. And then what's really important is I'm going to go into the daily planner, and I can see all of this information here where I can look and adjust. But what's even more important is to look in the calendar sync tab at the bottom, and where you really want to integrate, and how you will integrate this with your Google Calendar is by putting the email or the ID for the specific calendar that you're trying to integrate with. So if that's the event calendar for your main personal email, then that's going to go right here, and I'll show you how that works. So let's just go into my calendar, for example. I'm going to go into the calendars here, and this is the personal calendar that I'm trying to choose to integrate with. So I'm going to go open this. I'm going to click these 3 bars here, right? And then I'm going to click settings and sharing. And now I'm going to go down to integrate. And then there it is. There's my calendar ID. So I'm just going to copy this, and then I'm going to go back and open the timesheets that I have and input that email in the calendar event ID in this cell right here. Okay? This is very important, and then it has to be there. Now, where we start to integrate it with our calendar, I'll show you what mine looks like, for example. So I can open up my timesheet. This is what mine looks like so far for the day. It isn't done yet, so let me just adjust it for a minute, and then we'll start to integrate it. So I'll explain to you how I use this. First of all, I have to make sure, this is very important, that this tab right here at the top of where it says Tuesday, January 16th, 2024 is changed to the specific date that you're trying to adjust in your calendar for. So I'm going to go into it, and I'm going to click now the 17th, because today is the 17th, Wednesday. And now after that, I'm basically going to journal. I'm just going to brain dump everything that I have in my head about what I need to do for the day, what I'm trying to do with my friends, or the activities that I have going on, the projects that I have going on, whatever it is. There's 3 different tabs here to kind of just space things up, but you can just dump everything that you're thinking about, everything that's been going on in your head, and just throw it up. And then the thing is, there's always something that is the number one project. You have to ask yourself, what is the number one thing that I can do for my relationships, my work, my income, that would make everything else easier or unnecessary? And so that is the number one project that you're going to put in. And then there's all the other urgent tasks that you have going on that are outside of that number one project. And then there's some maintenance to do stuff, if that's learning, if that's going on a walk, if that's just leisure time, if that's some exercise, whatever it is, the daily stuff that needs to happen. Okay. Then there's the little reminders, if it's a question that you have yourself, if it's just a tip, if it's reminding yourself of something else, whatever it is, you have that space. And then you have the tomorrow to-do list as well, just the little things that you're like, okay, I can do this for tomorrow instead. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken all the information and I've now brain dumped it onto the timesheet on the right here. And so this is all the information of what my schedule is going to look like for the upcoming day. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my calendar. I'm going to refresh it just to show you that there isn't anything on here so far. You can see that there is nothing in my schedule, which is perfect. Oh, there we go. I clicked on my schedule. So now there's nothing in my schedule, which is perfect. So now I'm just going to go into my calendar again on this timesheet, and I'm just going to press this button here, which says sync calendar. So let's run the script that we put in before that was there, and it's going to integrate it. And as soon as you do click this on your end, it's going to start to run the script. But then what happens is that as I run this code, it's going to verify with my calendar. So what happens here is as soon as you first click this sync calendar button and you've never used this calendar before, what it's going to do is it's going to verify your email, your Google Calendar with AppScript. And so it's going to basically bring you up to this page saying it's like really risky, whatever it is, you have to bypass that and proceed anyways. And after you click that, you go into the Google Calendar, and after you've synced it, all of a sudden, boom, everything shows up. As simple as that. Very amazing, really laid out, and it syncs everything into your calendar from the day that you wanted it to be in. So it's really very, very, very important to not change anything on this calendar sync page, because otherwise it will totally mess up the syncage and you will not be able to sync this calendar that you have with your Google Sheet here. And so very, very, very important to never, ever change that. But that's how you use the daily planner. And a little bit of a tip for me, I like to use my habits from the page before to actually also help me understand what I want to do for my day. So I know that throughout the day, I have my little works, my activities, whatever it is that I need to do, my projects. And then I'll also have the habits that I want to make sure I'm doing. Like if it's learning guitar, or if it's just making sure that I practice some Russian or Hebrew, whatever language that I'm doing. And then I'll make sure that I put that into my calendar as well. So yeah, just a few little tips there for you. But this is how you use the timesheet. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on how to use this for your life, for your work, for your projects. If you have any tips, I would love to hear about some tips on how to make this even better. But in the meantime, just use this to your advantage, and it's going to absolutely change the game for you. So let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a text on Instagram, and I'll totally be able to help you out there. So see you next time.